Welcome in, I'm Artress, and in this video we're going to be going over Koby, a red-black leader from OP11. Yes, we are finally getting to Koby, and yes, we have finally covered all of the new leaders from OP11 a month in. About time, I would say, but the reason is because for me, I have not really enjoyed playing Koby, full transparency there. It's not a leader that really vibes with the style of play that I like to play as, although I will say he feels somewhat reminiscent of like how Rebecca would play with Colosseum, which you would figure would be a reason for me to really want to play Koby. However, after playing with Koby, I've found that I like to play decks that have a fair amount of top end and can control the board. While Koby does control the board, he doesn't have a lot of top end overall, and so as a result, he's not really a playstyle I enjoy playing. That being said, I still think it's worth covering because it is a leader that has done well recently in online events and could be getting support later down the road, and it's always worth kind of keeping those leaders in your mind. So that being said, Koby is a red-black leader for life that says your sword-type characters can attack characters the turn they are played, and then once per turn, when one of your navy-type characters with an original power of 7,000 or less is removed from play by your opponent's effects, instead you may place 3 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order. This whole novel of text is actually really good with the package that he gets from OP11, being able to protect a lot of his units, but also being able to trade into the board rather easily because a lot of his characters can attack the same turn they are played. But before we go over the deck list and how the deck operates, if you're new to the channel, please make sure to hit that sub button. And if you enjoy the video or just enjoy Koby in general, please make sure to give the video a thumbs up. It helps out so much. Thank you all for the support. One last thing, if you are looking to talk about the One Piece card game outside of the YouTube comments, please make sure to join the Discord community. The link for that is in the description below. All right, starting off, we are running 4 Peacock. This is a 1K counter, but also a searcher for the deck. It looks at the top 5 and grabs a Navy type card other than Peacock, and then you can put the rest at the bottom of the deck in any order. What's really important here is that it has a secondary effect that says activate main. You may trash this character and then give up to one of your characters plus 1,000 power during this turn. So you can actually be strapped for Dawn usage at times, and being able to trash this to buff up a character by 1,000 power goes a long way. Next, I'm running a playset of Doll. This is a great blocker that has an on play that says you may trash 1 card from your hand. If your leader has the Navy type, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 6,000 power during this turn. This will allow you to trade into pretty much every character in the game for very, very little. The minus 6,000 is absolutely insane, and it comes on a blocker, so really nice there. Of course, the downside being you have to trash a card, but you have plenty of bricks in the deck that you can trash if you need to, or there's also some cards that can bring things out of the trash, so you might want to throw those things that you can get back out into the trash to begin with. So overall, Doll has some good synergy with how the deck is supposed to be played. Next, we're running 4 Hibari, a 5-cost 6,000 power body. No counter on it, which does suck, but it has a very powerful effect that says on play, give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 2,000 power during this turn, and then when attacking, this character gains 1,000 power during the turn. Then if your leader has the Navy type, up to one of your leaders may attack active characters during this turn. What you're going to want to do with this is play this when your opponent has a rested character, because it has a sword subtype. Then you are able to swing into that rested character. Maybe you will give it the minus 2,000 buff, maybe you'll give something else to 2,000 minus buff, and then give your leader the ability to attack the active character you may need to attack. So there's lots of different ways and different lines you can use Hibari to clear the board. Very important piece, especially if you're going first. Typically, you're going to want to go second with this deck, but if you do go first, this is a card you're going to try to mulligan for. We're running a playset of X-Drake, just a searchable 2K counter, but also you can swing with this and bring this back out with Helmeppo as well. So there are some practical uses you can use this for. Overall, it's going to be a 2K, but you can summon it if you need to. We're running a playset of Aramaki 2K counters. You can trash this character, and then if your leader has the Navy type, choose up to one of your characters with the Navy type. That character can attack active characters during the turn, then trash 2 cards from the top of your deck. Just great synergy all around with what your leader is wanting to do, what the deck is trying to do. Being able to attack active characters is quite the nuisance for your opponent, and it's probably the best removal, or at least form of removal in the game right now, obviously besides bottom decking. Next up, we're running 4 Ripper, a 1K counter, but also a 1-cost blocker if you have another black Navy type character other than Ripper on the field. So this will be a nice little chump blocker for very, very cheap. Next up, we're running 4 Sengoku from starter deck 19, being able to trash 2 black Navy type cards from your hand, and then if your leader has the Navy type, you can draw 3. So this will help you fill up your trash and then also get a little bit further into the deck and find more pieces that you might need for situations you might have coming up. Then we're running 4 brand new, very simply just a searcher that looks at the top 3, grabs a Navy type, and then puts the rest in the trash. Once again, we're trying to fill up the trash so we can use our leader ability to protect our units from any kind of removal. The brand new also just grabs something in the deck deck. We have pretty much everything in the deck is Navy, if I'm not mistaken, and so you can grab everything that you need from this alone. Next up, we're running 4 of the 4-cost Kuzan. On play, trash the top 3 cards of your deck, and then when attacking, up to one of your leaders or characters with the Navy type can attack active characters during this turn. This is a very important piece, especially going second. If you are on your 4-Don, you're going to want to play this down. It will establish some cards into your trash, which will then protect this card from any kind of removal the following turn. And then on top of that, the following turn, you can swing with it and give a character or your leader the ability to attack an active character. So this will be able to synergize really well with the 6-cost Helmeppo, so that if you are on your 6-Don, you can swing with the Kuzan you've already established, and then Helmeppo or whatever else you bring out can attack an active character, which is a very powerful turn for you to be able to take back the board. Next up, I'm running 2 of the 4-cost Hina from starter deck 19, a Don times 1 opponent's turn. This character has +4 cost. Sometimes that comes in handy if you don't have enough trash to be able to protect this character. What's also important here is it has an activate main. Once per turn, you may place 1 card from your trash on the bottom of your deck and then give your leader or up to one of your characters up to 1 rested Don. So this is very nice to be able to get some extra value from Don that's already been spent, whether it's buffing a character to be able to trade easier, whether it's putting a Don on your leader so you can swing into blue, purple Luffy. There's plenty of different uses for this, but overall, it's a pretty solid card. It is counterless, which I do think sucks, but I think it's also kind of needed. We need a couple more 4 costs in the deck and one that's a Navy so you can search it out. And also you can bring this back with the 7-cost Sengoku blocker. So we do like this card overall, but it is one that I've definitely cut down to 2. I was running more, I think it was like 3 or 4 to begin with, and I just found myself having too many of these in the hand, and it's not that great, so we bumped it down to 2 for the sake of this deck list. Then I'm running 2 T-Bone from EB01. This is very nice to be able to KO a 2-cost character in a pinch. Sometimes there's a 2-cost Rosinante on the field with an 8-cost kid behind it, and you need to get rid of the 2-cost Rosie. This will be able to do that, and then you can play out the doll, the 4-cost blocker, to reduce the kid down to 2,000 power, and then swing into it with whatever you need to. So T-Bone does come in handy sometimes, but this is mostly a 2k counter. Then one of the best cards in the deck, we have 6-cost Helmeppo. It's an on play. You may trash 1 card from your hand and then draw 1 card and play up to 1 sword type character with a cost of 8 or less from your trash other than Helmeppo. Then at the end of the turn, place 1 character played out by this effect to the bottom of its deck. So this is actually pretty interesting because on your 6-Don turn, you can cheat out this 8-cost Koby, which we'll go over right now. It's an 8-cost 9,000 power character that says on play up to one of your characters can attack one of your opponent's active characters during this turn. When attacking, you may return 2 cards from your trash to the bottom of your deck in any order, and then give your leader or up to one of your characters plus 1,000 power until the end of your opponent's next turn. Very nice to be able to swing into blue, purple Luffy, green, purple Luffy, or just have that additional 1k on any body that you would choose. So this is a very powerful card, and this is your boss monster of the deck, but being able to cheat this out on your 6-Don turn is pretty powerful with Helmeppo. Of course, this does go to the bottom of the deck at the end of the turn, but there are ways that you can just put this in the trash again. For instance, if your board is full, you can play over this with other cards, and then this will go to the trash instead of going to the bottom of the deck. So keep that in mind. That is an interesting way to at least cheat this out and then potentially have it not go to the trash. Of course, you have to have a Don or 2 extra and a full board. It's very situational, but it is something worth noting. One last thing with Helmeppo is that you can bring out other things besides this Koby. The other targets that you might want to bring out would be Habari or this X-Drake. Those are going to be targets that you can bring out, swing in, and trade into the board pretty easily, but your best target, of course, will be the 8-cost Koby. And then we're running 2 of the Sengoku from EB02. It's a blocker that is Navy type, and then on play up to 1 black Navy type character card with a cost of 4 or less from your trash rested. So pretty much the entire deck, except for obviously these red cards here, but I think you can find good targets overall. This Hina's pretty solid. Kuzan's pretty solid as well. I've seen some list add in the 4-cost draw 1 Kuzan, just so you have like extra value to be able to bring that out. And sometimes people find it to be a threat, but it's not really the -4 that you get from it's not really useful in the deck overall. So it's another brick, and I don't want to have another brick in my deck, so that's why I haven't included that combo. But we do have other things you can combo with the Sengoku, whether it's the Hina, the Kuzan. You can even bring a brand new out and get a search going. So there are other options, of course. That all being said, this deck list is very interesting because it's all based around just battle removal, which is I like that kind of play. I just don't like the fact that a lot of it's low to the ground. You're a 4-life leader, your hand size goes down pretty fast, and you can get punished for taking too much life too early. So you have to balance a lot of things going on. It's rather complicated for some of what you're trying to do, but if you do see your curve, the 4 into the 6 into the 8, you do pull ahead pretty quickly, and you can really easily just overwhelm the opponent, take back their board, and then you're looking at having a bunch of small swings go towards your opponent's face and then overwhelm them that way, while also trading into things that you might need to. Power reduction is the name of the game for this deck, and I think with Doll and Hibari as a combo, you're looking at a pretty good time overall. So let's take this deck list into the sim and see how it does. Alrighty, here with Black Purple Luffy, I want to take second. I think this hand is solid. We have a couple of searchers, we have a blocker. Typically, I think that this matchup is a little bit more favored. We'll go ahead and grab the Koby here with the brand new search, even though it means putting the Doll in the trash. I think it's a little bit more favored because with Black Purple Luffy, if you can remove the board, you're in a pretty good standing. And because Koby's all about removing the board through battle and reducing the cost, or rather the power of things, I think it's a pretty fair matchup. So it is a little bit closer than you would like, but it is pretty solid overall. If you play it correctly, I think you can win this. This trash is looking pretty interesting. Cards I'd rather have in my hand, to be quite honest, but oh well, it is what it is. This next turn, what we're going to end up doing, we'll take this. Yeah, we'll take the 6. I was thinking about maybe countering out in case they swing really big, but no, they play the chopper. That's fine. Their hand's looking pretty small here. Let's go ahead and attack. How can we do this? Let's play the Helmeppo, trash out the Koby. Then we can bring the Koby out. Koby can give the Kuzan the ability to attack active. So then Kuzan can then give maybe Koby the ability to attack active. So we'll go 5 into 4 here, see if we can get a counter out. They just let it go. We'll go 9 into 4. We will put 2 underneath. Doesn't really matter. I guess we probably should have left the extra just in case we get another Helmeppo, but it's fine. We'll go 6 into lead here, and then we'll pass the turn. The Koby goes to the bottom of the deck, and then I think we can, I don't know, maybe we can play out a brand new, see what we get from it. Okay, so now they have their Luffy. I think we want to protect this if we can. Well, they're probably going to swing the rest onto it, and that's fine. We'll let it go if that's the case. What is our best play here? Sengoku's fine to get the Kuzan back, actually. That's not too bad of a play since we just let it go. And then what we can end up doing is swinging... I think we can swing 5 into 4. Maybe they'll let it go. Okay, they'll let it go. Then we'll swing 7 into 7, and then we'll play out the Ripper just to have an additional blocker here. I want to make sure that this Helmeppo at least stays alive. The Kuzan we're like less worried about, but I think if we can protect both units, we'll be fine. Okay, 8 into lead here. They're just foregoing everything. We can block and give them a 2K, and then this next swing, we can just block with the Ripper if we need to. So we'll do that, and then we'll just swing into the Luffy. I think that's our best play. We can bring another Sengoku out. We can also go and play out brand new and see what we can get off the brand new. Hibari would be a pretty good thing to grab off the brand new if we can get it, which is we're taking a risk doing that. We'll just swing 7 into 7 first and see what we can get. And we'll try to get as much counter as possible. 7 into 7 again. I don't mind swinging the blocker there. It's not a problem. Let's go ahead and, yeah, brand new search first. Okay, we do get a Hibari. We could have grabbed a Helmeppo and probably just been fine playing a Helmeppo and getting Hibari out and swinging a bunch of times. Maybe that was a better grab instead. I just hard-targeted Hibari. We'll swing 5 into 5 again. They're countering out pretty hard here, but I don't know if they're going to be able to protect it. They're leaving one open, which I assume is for Gum Gum Giant. Let's go ahead and just swing 9 into 5 and see if they can protect this. And then, okay, it is Gum Gum Giant, which means that they're going to give us another card after that and have 1 card left in hand. Okay, they're protecting this with their life, which I respect. They need to keep this thing on the field, but they dropped a lot of cards for that. That was an insane amount, which is fair because they need to keep this board as alive as possible. But this turn, they might just crack back with us and take back the board. I think we let go of the first thing here since they're swinging pretty heavy, 11 into 7. If they're swinging it again, then I think we might have to... Oh, 11 into 6. We can block this one, I think. That's fine. And then one of these 2 units, whether it's the Sengoku or the Hibari, will go down. Unfortunate, but it is, I guess, the price of doing business here. It will go 10 into 6. We'll allow that to go. And then I'm assuming they have 1 more Gum Gum Giant, and that's the reason why they have 1 open. This Helmeppo was a pretty good grab. Let's go ahead and just play this out. Pitching the Hina. We get a Doll. That's actually really good, too. Let's go ahead and just swing 5 here. We're going to swing with the Kuzan, maybe, I don't know. The way we order this is pretty important because we could also trade into the Katakuri if they decide to block with it. They just let it go. Okay, so let's go ahead and swing... Well, we can't swing 7 because we just put this out. So we'll swing 7 with the Sengoku just so we can get some value off of this. And I suppose... Well, I suppose we could go ahead and just maybe swing 7. I think a misplay would have been there, like, for me, was not swinging with the Sabari and giving something else the ability to attack active. So that's, I mean, we'll attack active with the Hibari, but we could have gotten an additional swing, I suppose, with something else. We could play Doll and then been able to trade into this Katakuri pretty easily. So, yeah, the sequencing is pretty important here, but it is also kind of awkward how you have to sequence it in order for that to happen. But regardless, I think we're in a pretty good spot. They will likely go for board, I would imagine, just so they have less things to counter out of. Yeah, 11 into 7. You have it. I don't have counter for that. I mean, I'm not going to dump my whole hand and then lose it still. I have 4K in counter, so we'll see what we can do here. Another Luffy. This is, I mean, it's looking pretty rough, actually, not going to lie. So let's see what we can do. We could counter out of this one. Is it worth it? I mean, if we do, we lose our entire hand. Playing this in Goku might be better instead. That might be a better option. Let's go ahead and play this in Goku out. Bring out... Hina's probably fine, because Hina, we can actually get some value by putting Dawn underneath either a leader or a character. So what we can do is swing 7 into 7, get a 1K out of hand, and then I think what we can do is just swing 9 here, and if they have a Gum Gum Giant, they'll use it. Maybe they'll block and give us a 2K. So yeah, I mean, we have asked for a lot of cards out of hand, and this is the downside to Koby, is that sometimes your hand size goes down quite a lot as well. But regardless, I think I'm in a pretty good standing here, because I do have a 7-cost Sengoku that's pretty uninteractable with them. So unless they have something amazing here, I think we might be able to really pressure them. Okay, they're just going to go for game, and I think that's fine. I think that's respectable, because here, I think they realize that they have to just push as hard as possible. And that's totally fine. But I think I would have done like maybe 7, 8, 8, 10, maybe. I think that, I mean, that might be fine. Okay, so here, I think what we can end up doing is we will take this one, and then we'll counter out of the 8, and then we'll have to block the 10. I think that's what we have to do. It's unfortunate that we're losing a 7K body, but yeah, I think that we have to do that here. And countering out the way I did, just because we might need the doll, we might need the peacock. Well, we just have to go for a game. We're not going to be playing the doll. Let's go ahead and get the peacock going so that we can get a rested Dawn so that the Hina can actually use that, and then we can buff a character at the same time. Let's go and swing 9. We'll go ahead and use the Hina ability just to do it. 9 into 7 requires 2 cards out of hand, and they don't have anything. So we actually played it pretty well. It was really close towards the end there, and that's what I meant at the beginning, is that it is favorable for Koby if you play it correctly, but it can be very close because they do have a lot of value with the bodies they have. Alrighty, going against Foxy, I am going second. They chose first, which is good for me, especially since I have a brand new to search to get. I suppose a 2K would not hurt. And putting the Hina in the trash is not the worst thing in the world, because if we do get a Sengoku at some point in time, we can bring that back out. I think this is a favorable matchup for us. We just have to make sure we establish some bodies on the field first, and then that way we can start trading into the bodies that they have, because their whole game plan is getting 3 Foxy Pirates on the field so that they can lock down a tapped character and the leader. So we have to just make sure that they don't get that many. We'll swing 5 into lead, they'll likely take, which they did, and then we'll go Kuzan, and unfortunate that the Helmeppo gets trashed, but oh well, it is what it is. The next turn, we don't have that many good plays, unfortunately. We only really have, like, searching and maybe using the 1K or the 1-cost Aramaki to swing into an active character. Just depends. I don't imagine they're going to swing the Bond Clay, but who knows? Maybe they will. With 2 Bond Clays, they might swing the first one just to alleviate some pressure from face. Yeah, it looks exactly like what they're doing here. Let's go ahead and give them a 1K since they will be swinging with the other 2 characters as well. And I don't want to go down to 1 life, so if they decide to go 6-6, we'll give them a 2K and then take 1. If they decide to go 5-7, let's counter out of the 5 so that we just take the 7. Yep, we'll give them a brand new because we have another one in hand. And here they go. They swing 7, and that's totally fine here. Good to see. I think what we can end up doing is kind of playing with them and seeing how they counter out. I think that's important. We could do a search and see if we can get a 5-cost. Okay, we do. Unfortunately, we have to get rid or bottom deck the Kobys, but I suppose that's the price there. Let's go ahead and swing Kuzan into the Porsche, giving the ability for brand new to attack active characters. And then I guess the other thing we could do here is swing Hibari into the rested bond clay. But let's swing brand new into the standing one first and see if it goes. That way I can know what to do with Hibari. Hibari will swing into the bond clay, and then we can just swing 5 and delete here, and their board is gone. And I think that we are in a pretty good spot. I think that they have ramped up a bit, which does suck, but I think that also they're not going to be able to go super wide, or rather they have to spend their entire turn going wide as opposed to having like a taller character, which it looks like they're doing. They're going Pickles into Ito Mimizu, into Foxy, swinging into the Kuzan using the leader ability to rest my or freeze my Hibari and my leader. Pretty annoying there. And then they trash the Foxy to draw a card. Pretty good play from them, but I think we can just take this back here because we have... This helmet was pretty solid. Let's go ahead and get our value off of the Peacock. I think what we can do is give the Kuzan the ability, the plus 1000 power. Let's play the Helmeppo. Let's trash out a Hina because it's counterless. We can get the Koby that's in the trash going. We can attack an active with this Kuzan. This Kuzan swinging 6 into 0 and then giving the ability for Koby to attack an active character. So then we're going to swing into the Pickles and they won't have a board. They'll have 4 cards in hand and then we can untap with Hibari and Koby. They just give up. Okay. Yeah, I understand. Their entire board was gone. Their entire game plan was gone. It was pretty much lost the moment that I was able to get that Koby out. Against Blue-Purple Luffy, I still want to take second because I think our curve is pretty good. Let's mulligan that hand. And this is better because we have the Kuzan into Helmeppo into Koby. We can also just cheat out the Koby turn earlier if we need to. We can also just play the Helmeppo out as well just for 6. We also have the Hibari to bring out with the Helmeppo if we need to as well. So looking pretty good. Let's go ahead and just do something. Let's go ahead and pitch the Koby and the T-Bone. We draw into 2 Sengokus. And that way, at least now we know we can go Kuzan into Helmeppo and then swing into anything that we might need to get rid of. We'll take the 6 here. And I imagine it's some kind of ramp. Okay, Gear 2. That's better for us because if they had a Zoro, Juro, it'd feel bad. Kuzan trashing a Hibari. So we do have options for this Helmeppo this next turn. Pretty nice to see. Alternatively, if we don't have anything to swing into, we can also just play the Hibari out, put 1 underneath our leader, and then swing 6 so that we have a couple of characters established, ready to go. This matchup is typically very hard, though, because they, over the course of a game, just get so much value, and they can grind us out a lot easier. And the good thing here is that they have a hard time removing our bodies with their 9-cost Big Mom if we have a full trash. So that is, like, the one positive here. How many do we have in trash? We have enough. So a point in case here. God Thread to KO the Kuzan, which we can just protect the Kuzan by putting 3 to the bottom of the trash. And the Kuzan will at least live and stay on the field, which is nice. But of course, that means we have to fill up our trash again because I think we're only at 2. So yeah. Anyway, let's go ahead and play the Peacock out, see what we can get. I think Doll will come in handy later. The other Peacock to grab, I think we can grab another Helmeppo just so we can chain Helmeppos. Let's go ahead and play the brand new, see what else we can get here. Koby's pretty solid. Let's grab the Koby. And then I think we can just go 6/6 here and just poke him down, see if we can get a life or maybe some cards out of hand. And if they decide to swing 6 into the Kuzan the following turn, I think we can protect it. We cannot. We don't have any 2Ks. Okay. Well, regardless, anyway. If they decide to swing at it, we can bring it back with Sengoku. How about that? But the unfortunate thing is they did get a trigger off of the first life, making them go to 8, which means that their leader ability is already online because they were able to ramp up 3 times before turn 4. Really unlucky. That hyper ramp sucks, and it's going to be all downhill from here. If we were able to cheat out a body, then maybe that would have been better. Maybe putting out a Helmeppo would have been better instead, but oh well. Lesson learned. Maybe swinging into the bodies or swinging into the board, or rather swinging into the life is not necessarily what we need to do in that situation. Maybe establishing another character would have been better. All right, grabbing the Zoro Juro 1K counter off of the leader ability, and then here's where they probably start bringing out some bodies, some big bodies, spam after spam. I have to let this one go. Yeah, we have to just let this one go. It is what it is. I mean, I would love to save this, but I think we have bigger fish to fry. We can always bring it back with the Sengoku next turn. Sengoku is pretty powerful in this matchup as well. Really hard for them to at least remove because they don't have a way to put it into life. They don't have any other way to interact with it other than maybe if they're running Mihawk or Red Rock. So yeah. This doll is really good too because doll will allow us to swing into their rested bodies if they decide to swing them, and then obviously have like not too many. I don't want to be trading bodies all the time because they can just outvalue us, of course. If they're putting 2 bodies out a turn and you're only able to answer 1, it's not really, you're just losing that game if that's the case. Okay, so only one body comes out. We do see a Linlin here. I don't imagine they will heal me. They'll probably just heal themselves and leave all of the characters on the board. If they decide to heal me, I'll gladly take it. Being at 2 life is a little bit scary. Let's play out the Helmeppo. Is Helmeppo the best? Yeah, I think Helmeppo's fine. Let's pitch a Sengoku. Let's go ahead and bring out this Koby. Play over this Sengoku. We'll give the Koby ability to attack active, and then we're just going to give Peacock abilities to the Koby, and then we're just going to swing in 13. I think 13 into 9 is better, because if they have a Gum Gum Giant, it makes it a little bit more awkward for them. And we will give Koby the plus 1,000 for the next turn, so that at least this way, we only have to give a 1k if they decide to swing in with their leader. Gum Giant. I figured it would be, but that means that they don't get their leader ability off, I think, because they are at 7. So yeah, that's at least saving grace there, unless of course they have a trigger, which maybe they do. Maybe they do. See if they counter out of this one. They're thinking about it. I don't like swinging this, but I think I kind of have to at least apply a little bit of pressure. Now, if I'm blue-purple Luffy, I just take this one usually. 3 cards in hand, 3 life. I think it's fine. Okay, they give us a 1k counter, which I actually really like to see. I really like that because that means it's going to be harder for them to defend this Linlin this next turn, which we have Doll. Unfortunately, we're at 9 cards, so if one of the cards in their hand is a pudding, we're in for a very sad time. But kind of have to hope that they don't have it. Of course, when you index your deck every turn for, at least 2 turns by now, you'll probably see what you need. Okay, we will, I guess, take the 9 and a 10. Oh, gosh. Oh, boy. We are in some trouble. We're going down to 0. At least it's 2 dolls. We can go doll back to back and probably clear the board. And then it's going to be really hard for them to remove the doll because of that. So I think we pitch Habari. And this is down to 4. Let's go ahead and play the other doll, pitching out the Hina. And we will swing 3. Yeah, let's do this. Let's swing 3 into 3. Then we will swing 5 into 3. And then what we will do after that is swing 7 into, or maybe 8 into 4. I think 8 into 4 is better. And then we can have 1 open for Ripper. And then have these 3 blockers on the field. We'll be in a pretty good spot here. I think this is the best we can do right now. Let's see. I mean, they'll probably counter out of this one. Oh, they just let it go. Okay, let's swing 5. We could swing 6. I think we can comfortably swing 6 here. 6 into 4. And then we'll go 7 into 6 here. I want to swing 8, but unfortunate. Gum Gum Red Rock to bottom deck my doll, but let's go ahead and just use the effect of our leader to put back the Sengoku and another Sengoku, and then we can play out this Ripper. Actually, we have enough blockers in the field. Let's see if we can pitch a little bit further. Let's go ahead and pitch the brand new, and the Helmeppo, I think, is fine. We don't need that many Kobys. Okay, maybe pitching the Koby would have been better. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Unlucky. I mean, now's the time to get puddinged, if anything. Get rid of these Kobys out of my hand, please. Please, please. I actually don't want that, so... No, oh my god! Opponent heard me. Okay, that's actually hilarious. 6 into 3, yeah, we'll let that go easily. This is actually a very interesting hand here. Okay, so... How are we supposed to do this? I think we go Koby. Koby, attack active, 10 into... We could use the ability for... we have to use it on Koby leader, unfortunately. I was thinking about using it on the actual character, but I guess we have to get this 2k out of hand, which is Uso Hachi, a good 2k to get out of hand. That's good to see. And then we can go 6 into lead, and then I'm going to give it another 7 into lead. Now, typically, you're going to want to swing 6, 8, 10, 12 into Luffy. It makes it really awkward for them. Ooh, second Uso Hachi. Okay, I'm feeling a little bit better. Let's go ahead and drop the Ripper so we have 3 blockers here. We're at 6k for our leader. We have 2 2ks, a 1k, and a brick. And kind of a dream here. Gear 2. So defensive unit, that's fine. Don't mind that. Here, we just need to make sure that the Helmeppo and the Koby stay alive, and then we also don't die. I think that's pretty important as well. I would imagine, now that they dropped 2 Usohachis, they might not have that many left. I mean, obviously there's 2 left in the deck, but they might not have any in their hand, and they might not see them anytime soon. So I think it's okay to maybe block with like a Doll and the Ripper, have 1 blocker left. This is an easy counter. We'll give them the Kuzan there. I don't think they're going to swing with the Pudding. I think swinging with the Pudding requires too much Dawn, and they probably want to do something else with their time instead. If I were them, I might Red Rock the Koby, so it's a lot harder for me to break through as well. All right, they're going to be swinging 9 into 6. I'm just going to block this one with Ripper, and then let's see what damage they have after this. If they go and they play, okay, Sanji into Katakuri is really good damage, of course, with 1 Dawn left. Yikes. Unlucky. How do we trade into this board? I think it's going to be pretty hard to go face and win because they have the blocker, and we know that they have Gear 2. So let's try to at least maybe make it awkward for them by chip swinging into them. We can swing 7, give the ability to Koby to swing, I suppose, which means we can get the Pudding off the field at least. 7 into 7 here. They might let it go. They might. Okay, they do. Okay, that's good for us. I think we kind of have to play board clear or maybe bait things out. We'll go 8 into 6. We can get the Gear 2 out of hand. And I don't know if attacking the Pudding even makes sense, to be quite honest. I think just kind of pressuring them might be the better play. Because if they put too much Dawn on the Pudding, they might not be able to do anything else. So I think that we can just ignore the Pudding. And what we can end up doing is maybe go like 9, 10? Yeah, 9, 10. And see if that breaks through. Wow, they let that go, even though they have really good counter for that. I would have probably just countered out with the Gear 2 that I know they have. Here we will do a Koby ability to give our leader plus 1,000. And then what we can do is stack the rest of the Dawn onto the Koby here. Swing. Okay, so they do have a Giant. That's fine. Giant to pitch the God Thread. We know one of the cards is dead, so let's just go ahead and swing 10. And this one might be a block. Okay, it is a block. We have 2 blockers. They have a couple of swings here. We just have to hope that they don't have like double Usohachi, but they've already used 2 of them. So I wouldn't say the chances are like, okay, they have 1. Okay, that's scary. That's really scary. Okay, they do have 1 more somewhere in the deck. Maybe it's in their hand. At this point, they have so many cards in their hand again. This is the whole reason why Blue Purple Luffy is just insane at times, because they were just at like 3 cards a couple turns ago. Oh, no. So Hachi number 1. No, we don't have enough counter. Okay, so well played. I think we played it as well as we could. We took maybe too much damage, but at some point there was not much we could have done. GG to the opponent. Against Buggy, I'm going to take second here. I think this is a pretty solid hand. We have a Hina, we have a Koby, and a brand new, things that we kind of want to see in our opening hand to fit our curve. So let's go ahead and do the brand new search to see what we can get. I think grabbing maybe a 2K is fine here, because we do have a Koby in hand. We can put a 2K in the trash, and then we can also have a Koby in the trash as well, in case we get a Helmeppo at some point in time. Let's take the 5, and then this next turn we'll establish a Hina, which Hina will make them play out the 7-cost Buggy more than likely. Okay, Marguerite, very interesting. I haven't really seen that in too many decks, but I think it's a pretty solid choice regardless. We'll swing 5 into 5. They'll likely take this one. Usually they want to take at least a life or 2 so that they can have enough cards in hand to use their leader ability. They're using the Cross Guild to get the promo Buggy. Okay, so they get it off the Cross Guild. So that means it's probably coming down this turn. Yep, Buggy into Mihawk, which means that I cannot swing with the Hina. Rather unfortunate, pitching out of Sables here. Okay, that's fine. We will take the 5. I don't mind going down to 2, but I do have to be aware that they might run Pudding. Okay, this is really good. Helmeppo. We can go ahead and use the Helmeppo. I would probably want to pitch out either the Koby or the Hibari, but I think pitching out the Hibari... Actually, maybe Ripper's better, because Hibari could go and have some better mileage on the field. So we will play out the Koby, give the Koby the ability to attack active. We'll swing into the Mihawk. And then we will give our, I suppose we'll give our leader the +1. Not that it really matters. Imagine this is just a block, but the Marguerite, yeah. And I can't swing with the Hina. I'll go 6 into 5, see if they take the bait here. If they block with the Mihawk, then I can swing into it with the Helmeppo, but they are a little bit smarter than that. So that is fine. Here is I think we're in a solid spot. They did have a pudding. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Well, at least they got it out of their hand. Mihawk into Alvida, they are building this board pretty wide. Not looking good for us. They decide to swing 7 with their leader. I'm just going to counter out with the 2K. X-Drake is fine to get rid of here. This next turn, what we can end up doing is we can go Hibari minus the Mihawk. We're going to Aramaki to give something the ability to attack active. I guess the Hibari's fine. We'll go 7 into 5. So we're going to ask for cards out of hand. We're going to give the Koby the ability to attack active. We're going to ask for a lot of cards right now. We're asking for their entire hand. They had another pudding ready to go. Oh, baby. We'll go 6 into 5. And then what we're going to do is Aramaki the Helmeppo, swing 7 into 5 again, asking for 2 more cards. Do they have enough to counter out of this? They don't. Okay, so they dropped a bunch of cards and they lost their blocker. They might, in return, try to clear my board. They have Gravity Blade. I'm just going to use the ability here. Okay, it protects both of them, and I think that they realized their mistake. At that point, they invest all that Dawn. They don't have any more to build a board, and it's looking pretty grim for them. All right, opponent plays out the Nami to search out the... Yep, there's the Rush Restand Luffy from EBO2. You have to be aware that that might be coming down the next turn or two. Not turn, but 2. We'll take the 7 from their leader, and then what we'll do is, unfortunately, I think we swing with the Koby. I think we have to swing with the Koby just to apply some pressure. It sucks, but we have to do it. I kind of want to starve them. I think that's usually best, but if you don't pressure them, then like I said, that EBO2 Luffy becomes really difficult to deal with. I think this Kuzan is going to be our best bet, even though the Hina is also a pretty solid 4 play. But I think this Kuzan will actually be able to put in mileage and be able to get our game plan going by attacking into active characters, which is the whole point of the deck, but also one of the weaknesses of Luffy. Having to counter out of swinging into their characters, that's kind of how you have to beat them. This turn would likely be a Sanji and Pudding. Yep, as expected, using the leader ability to Dawn -2, get a Dawn back from the Sanji and Pudding, get 2 standing from their leader ability, swinging 6 into 5, and I'll take that one because I don't mind going down to 2, although it is a little bit scary, yes, but it's okay. Here, what we can do is we can play this Helmeppo out. Helmeppo can then play out the Koby from trash. I think what we do is we pitch probably the Hina, play out the Koby. The Koby gives the Kuzan the ability to attack active. The Kuzan will then swing into... Oh, did I misplay? I actually misplayed. We can, instead, we'll give our leader the ability to attack active. We'll swing 5 into the Chopper, and then what we can do is swing 10 into the Sanji and Pudding, and then hope that they don't have 2 2Ks, but likely they will. The misplay here was that I probably should have given the Kuzan the ability to attack active so that the Kuzan can then give the ability to the Koby to... not that it's a misplay, it's kind of like the same thing anyway, but that probably would have been better. And although the Kuzan is tapped, I would rather it not be tapped, but also I guess it's fine. It's fine for that reason. It's like, in a way, bait for them to swing into it because they kind of want to get that off the field. But it would have been nice to have it standing anyway, so oh well. Anyway, I digress. Let's see what we can do this next turn, because we do have a Koby that we can play out and just really punish the Pudding. The Sanji and Pudding, rather, but I think that Hibari also might be a pretty good play as well. Reducing the Sanji and Pudding down to 5, and then swinging into it, and then giving the ability to attack into the Zoro-Juro. We have a couple different plays. This is the whole complexity with the deck that's actually pretty nice about it. There's different outs, different lines that you can make, and obviously the sequencing is super important in how you do it. There's a world where they actually swing with Luffy. Since they're swinging 6 here, they might actually be doing it. 6 into 6. Oh, wow, they are. They're bringing the pressure, and this really hurts because I have to take the 7. And I'm not entirely sure. I think that Hibari might be our best bet here. I think Hibari going 7 into 5, giving the ability for Koby to attack active is pretty nice. And I think what we have to do here is swing 9 into 7. Maybe play the Peacock and get some value off of it. See if we can find... maybe some more counter, some blockers, whatever it may be. I think that's pretty important. I think we can grab... Second Hibari would be nice, but I don't need more counterless cards. Let's go ahead and play out the Peacock, or use the Peacock ability to go 9 into 7 here. Hopefully this goes down. It does. Love to see it. And then what we're going to do is just play out the Ripper and pass. Unfortunately, this Zoro-Juro living sucks, but I think we need to protect ourselves with the Ripper. And we have a fair amount of cards in hand as well for counter. So I think that's at least a positive. Okay, the 6 into 7 or 6 into 5 will counter out with a 2K here. Very easy. We want to counter out as much as possible because I would imagine that this turn... Okay, I was going to say they might have another restand Luffy. They don't. That's okay. They don't have it, and that's fine for us. They're going to use their leader ability, though, to get the Dawn back, and they're probably going to play out the Sanjin Pudding they just grabbed with the Zorojuro, have the 1 open here. They're at 3 life. We really need to pressure their hand, pressure their board. This turn is the turn to do it, of course. Oh, that Helmep was pretty interesting. That Helmep was very interesting, in fact. Let's start off with a Habari swing into the Zorojuro. The reason I think it's interesting is because we could do Helmeppo Doll. Because we're at 10 Dawn, we could do Helmeppo Doll, and that's actually, I like that play a lot. Let's do Helmeppo. Let's play out the Koby. We'll pitch the Koby to play out a Koby. And then we'll play over the brand new. Yeah, we have very interesting here. Okay, so we will use the Koby ability to, I think we want to give our leader the plus 1,000. We also want to have Helmeppo be able to attack active. So let's go ahead and swing here. 9 into 6. We'll put 2 to the bottom and then give the plus 1,000 buff to our leader. We'll go 7 into 6 here, see if they let it go. They do. Okay, we're going to play the doll over the Koby. This is what I was talking about in the intro, is that you can play over and put the Koby back into the trash so it doesn't go to the bottom of the deck at the end of the turn. Not that it really matters, because we do have another Koby in the trash if we needed to play another Helmeppo, but I think that's a pretty good play overall to be able to at least not have it go to the bottom. So we're looking pretty good here. Okay, so this would be one of the outs that they have, is the Luffy to just swing in twice here. Ooh, Electrical Luna is really good. Oh my gosh. What do we do? I think we block and then hope that they just... Okay, 6 and a 6. We will give them a brand new. I think that's good here. 2 cards in hand. I think Doll is our best bet. We're going to Doll, pitch the 1K, and then we're going to swing just to make sure that they don't do any shenanigans. I think we just swing with 9 into 1. We could have done all in, but I think this is probably fine. We'll pass the turn and hope to be able to close out the game here this next turn. We've done well, but we're 1 card in hand, 1 life. We have 2 blockers, which is good. They do find another Luffy. This is 3 in a row now. Oh my gosh. Okay, so they're just gonna go 7 into 5. That's fine. I think that's fine. They could have done the leader ability and then swing pretty big, but I'd be able to block it out anyway. So, okay, 0 cards in hand. They're tapped out. I think we just test the waters. Let's swing 5 and see if they give us a counter. If they don't, okay, they take it. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh, we might actually have game here. Let's swing 7. See if they take this one. I think we might actually have game here. Let's go 9. Hopefully this is not a trigger that, like, Electrical Luna. Do we have it? We might actually have it. It's a Gatling, okay. They get a Gatling. 15 and a 5. There's no way they get out of this one. Oh my gosh. It was a Gum Gum Giant. I think you just leave that open. I think you just leave the 1 Dawn open and maybe you're able to get out of this attack or all of these attacks. But anyway, yeah, this was just a war of attrition. Just grinding each other down until we have no resources and then closing out the game in one single fell swoop. Okay, hopefully we can get some redemption against Blue Purple Luffy here. I'm actually going to keep this hand because we have a brand new into a Kuzan, although that might be questionable, but let's see what we can get off the brand new. Okay, this is fine. The Helmeppo was pretty solid. Now we have a 4, 6, and hopefully an 8 Dawn play. But I think we have to just take it 1 turn at a time, establish the board the best we can, understand that you're going to take a turn or 2 off if you're playing to your curve, and then overwhelm the opponent with a bunch of attacks. Okay, we have to have a game plan change here depending on what we draw. This Aramaki, so clutch. Okay, so let's play the Aramaki down. We're going to give the brand new the ability to attack active. We're going to swing all in with this brand new, go 6 into 4, and have them give us a 2 and a 1. Or lose the ability to ramp. I think that this is a really awkward spot. We're going to go ahead and just hope that they don't have it. Okay, they don't. We made it. We made it. We did it. This next turn, though, could be a little bit awkward. We could play out a Habari and just swing 6 into lead and just have that body established so that we can swing 6 thereafter. That actually might be a pretty solid play. We could also do Helmeppo, but I don't think the Helmeppo play is necessarily that great unless they have a body in the field that we can also just swing into it that same turn. I still think Habari might be the right play. It all depends on our draw. If Luffy, I mean, here's the thing. Luffy might want to go into the brand new and just get it off the field knowing that I can attack with these characters. I think, though, that they should still apply pressure to my face, but we'll see. Some Luffys like to get rid of all of the board so that they don't have to worry about anything, like the Aramaki play. Yeah, I would imagine that's... I suppose it's okay. I don't really recommend that, but I think it's okay. Here, we can just establish a Kuzan, or maybe the Hina would be fine. A counterless card out of our hand seems pretty solid. Let's go ahead and swing 6 into lead. We can actually just do a Hina, and then maybe, because we're only at 3 life, we could end up playing a Sengoku and pitching out some of the Kuzans that are in our hand. We don't really need it, but we could also play Ripper and just be super safe. I think that's fine too. That's not the worst option in the world. And then the Hina will be pretty hard for them to remove. We do have enough cards in trash to protect it in case they decide to God Thread it. If they, for instance, if we don't have enough cards in trash as well, we can always put a Dawn underneath the Hina, making it +4 cost so that they don't have any really good options. Like Mihawk doesn't hit it. They have to Red Rocket at that point. Really awkward for them. Here too, okay. They're just ramping up since they did not get the Zoro swing off. I completely understand. Try to ramp as fast as you can. That's the name of the game here. Into a Bond Clay. Okay, so they've made up their ramp pretty well there, I would say. So this next turn, they'll be able to get their leader ability off, which is also important for us to be able to get this Bond Clay off the field. I think that's really, really going to be impactful here. What do we have in the trash? We don't have anything great. Let's use this in Goku and pitch out the Hina and his Kuzan. This is really good. Okay, so let's Helmeppo to pitch out the Koby. Koby comes out, and then I think we have to give Koby the ability to attack active, and I'm sure they are going to snap block. I think what we're going to end up doing is, let's go ahead and use the ability of Hina to put something underneath the Koby and swing 10 into 1. I know this is a lot, but I don't want them to also block with the Nami and do a Gum Gum Giant. Not that they would, but I mean, like, there's always a possibility. This also makes it more enticing for them to block, which they did. So, okay, mission accomplished. We got something off the field, and the Koby goes away at the end of the turn, meaning that this Bond Clay is only going to be swinging for 7 anyway. So that's not the worst thing in the world. It could be a lot worse, right? If this Koby stayed on the field, then they'd be swinging for 9, and I don't want that to be swung at me. Let's go 6 into 6, and then I think we could just... We can Peacock on top of the Koby so that we can get the Koby back later on. We can put a Koby in hand too. I think that's probably a pretty solid option, even though we are bricked up. Yeah, I think this is fine. I think the Koby's fine. The Goku's also fine, but I think the Koby's really good here. And once again, we're putting the Koby in the trash instead of it going to the bottom of the deck so that we can bring it back out in case we get a Helmeppo. Then we can cheat this out. Because we didn't have any other Kobys to do that with. And so I think having one in our hand as a playable, livable character, and then one that's in the trash to be able to be cheated out with the Helmeppo is really good options overall. Okay, grabbing a Sanji, I believe that's a 2K counter off of their leader ability here. And this is the chance now where they start spitting out multiple bodies. And if they don't see, if they're able to, like, if they skip a single beat, I think we can actually pull ahead considering they're at 1 life. In our board, we have Hina and Helmeppo ready to swing in. We have a couple of good cards in our hand ready to trade into their board if we need to. We have Doll in case they decide to play like a rush unit or only play 1 unit here. We have multiple options. So I will say this about the deck. It is nice that there are different lines. Nami is... I'm fine with Nami. I'm fine with Nami. Maybe they just didn't see anything. Placing cards on the... so no, they placed cards on the top of the deck. Maybe they just wanted to block her out because they didn't feel like the cards that they got were going to be able to be cheated out with a 9-cost Sanji. I would imagine that may be it. Okay, so they're sending cards at the bottom of the deck here. It's usually not a good sign. It means that their stack is pretty bad. So we'll take it. We have to take these small victories when going against Blue Purple Luffy because of just how innately broken the ability is. If we're able to have them bottom deck cards, we love to see that. If they're not playing their 9 costs, we love seeing that. God Thread to, I guess, get me to use my leader ability. Sure. People always forget that this is something I can do. And maybe it's like they didn't have anything in their hand to play. This might show how bricked up they actually are. But if they swing 6 and they swing 7, then we can counter out of what we need to. They might just try to pressure the board here because they're tapped out. And so being tapped out means that I can take advantage of the fact that they can't use any counter events. So we can swing like 6, 8, 10, and it's really awkward for them. We don't have a 2K, so I just have to snap block that one. And if they swing 6 into it, we can give them a Kuzan, because we can bring the Kuzan back out with the Sengoku. So I think that's fine here. Let's go ahead and just swing this Sengoku first into the Bond Clay, just getting cards out of their hand. And then if we need to, if they protect it, then we can go after it some more. We can kind of clear board, but I think this is a really good spot to be in, to be quite honest. We have Koby we can play. I think Koby's a good solid play to make. We could also play out the Sengoku. I think Koby's probably going to be our best bet though, because Koby can at least attack this Nami. We're going to go ahead and use the Peacock and then swing 10 into 6 here. I would imagine this just goes down. Bottom deck 2, give our leader the +1. If they counter out of this one, I'd be highly shocked, but maybe it means that they stay alive. Also, I don't know what's in their hand either, so maybe they have lots of bricks, maybe they have lots of counter. Who knows? This is a little bit awkward because we are a low card size. I guess technically we don't need to do this. I was thinking about maybe protecting the Hina. I think it's fine because we have 3 cards in the trash, so we can protect whatever units we need to. Swing 6 into 6. We want to swing like really clean numbers here. Like I said, 6, 8s, 10s, 12s. Really awkward numbers for Luffy to have to deal with. They take the 8. I doubt they're going to take the other 8, but maybe they're brick. Sometimes it happens. They have it. They do have the Sanji. I remember they grabbed that. And a carrot. I think the carrot's very interesting to add into the deck. I see it from time to time, and I always feel like the decks that have carrot in it seem to pop off. But this one, unfortunately, they just haven't seen... I mean, fortunately for me, but unfortunately for them, they haven't seen what they need to. This would be a good, like, 9-cost Sanji into Big Mom play, but Big Mom doesn't do anything other than just heal for them, because they're not going to be able to put anything into life here. Of course, with the Koby sticking, that means that even more of a threat comes their way. When you have a bunch of like 4 to 6 cost characters that are swinging 6, 7 little chip swings here and there, I don't think Blue Purple Luffy cares that much, especially when there's only like 2 or 3 characters doing it. But when you start getting the bigger hits in with the Koby, I think that's pretty good. Okay, so they do have Sanji into another Nami. I don't know if that's going to be... Will that be good enough? I mean, they have a lot of cards in hand, granted, but I think we could probably just play the slow game a little bit. They're at 0 life, but sometimes when they do this, when they set up with the blocker, have 1 open, they have just a bunch of cards. They sent 2 cards to the bottom again, meaning they're probably just getting rid of bricks. I think we just establish... We swing like numbers that are awkward for them, but I think we establish a Sengoku. Establishing the Sengoku, which means we can pitch a Kuzan here and bring the Kuzan back. Yeah, let's pitch the Kuzan here. And then we can bring the Kuzan back this next turn with the Sengoku. I think that's probably our best play here. We don't really have ways to attack active characters other than spending the 2K Aramaki, which we might need to stay alive in case these swings don't go through. I think what we could do is probably... I don't want to telegraph any moves. I think... I also don't want to go down too low in my card, in my trash, my graveyard. I think we can play the 7-cost Sengoku out. Let's see, let's divide the Dawn up. We could put 1 under the Hina. I really don't like swinging 7 is the problem. This is like the issue I'm having right now. I think swinging 7 we have to kind of do just to guarantee that the Hina doesn't get like blown out in case we have to put cards back, because we need to use the Koby ability to give our leader plus 1,000. But I guess playing this Goku brings the Kuzan, which puts 3 in the trash anyway, so I think it's fine. Actually, we didn't need to put the Dawn underneath the Hina there. But we will use the Hina ability to put a Dawn underneath the Koby. We will then swing 6. No, I think what we do is we swing 7 with the Helmeppo. Yeah, I think this is fine. We swing 7 with the Helmeppo. We swing an awkward 9 with the 8-cost Koby, and then use that Koby ability to put a Dawn, or rather buff our leader by 1,000, and then swing 8. Okay, so they're using Gum Gum Giant already. Love to see that, which means that they're probably going to block with this Nami on the Koby swing, and then we can swing 8 with the leader. Okay, pitching a Red Rock. Yeah, pretty useless in this matchup. Yeah, 9 into 6 is pretty good for us. Means that they have to give us 2 2Ks or just block. Once again, we're going to use this 8-cost ability to buff our leader, which is really nice because it's both an offensive and defensive buff. And then swing 8 into 6 here, which is a 2 and a 1. So this is probably... the order of this is a little awkward. As you can tell, they didn't have it. Didn't matter. Okay, cool. We were able to survive. They did have Linlins, but Linlin, I guess, just heals them and doesn't really do too much outside of that, although they could have used the extra life. But yeah, this is kind of how you have to win these games. They kind of have to brick at times, and then you have to be able to just overwhelm the board. It was so hard to find opponents that did not want to just quit after they started losing their board. I understand that it's frustrating when you start losing your board that way, but just finish out the game, please. Oh my gosh, I just wanted to be able to get a couple of games in, especially against the Buggy. When Buggy's whole game plan is trying to build a board and then you just keep removing it, I understand the frustration. Totally get it though. This deck is actually pretty solid, but once again, not my style of play. There's probably better ways to play it as well. Probably made a few mistakes here and there, but I think that's part of the deck, is that it is a certain learning curve, and the more time you put in with it, maybe you see a little bit more of your outs and your plays. There are some complications, of course. If you're trying to get certain things to attack active characters, you have to keep in mind the order of things. Sequencing is very important in this deck. Overall though, I don't know what I would change too much. I think that this is a pretty solid list overall, having a fair amount of 2Ks, some blockers to be able to protect you, and then being able to just get out the bodies you need, whether it's the Kuzan, the Helmeppo, or the Koby. I think that the game plan is pretty straightforward overall. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you have done differently. What have you added in, taken out? Curious to know how you guys have built it. There's a few other things you could add into the deck. There's actually quite a lot of different variants that you can put in. I have seen some people put in 8-cost dragon, and I've actually included that in some of the builds that I've tried out, but I just didn't find it super impactful as opposed to having more consistency with Navy. Anyway, I digress. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.